Okay. Well, let's get our stuff back on here. Okay, let's get a distance away. We'll have to probably come right back. Bitch. The mouth on some of these people.
Alright, I'm back now. That's right. One second.
Oh, surprised me, I didn't see that. Just trying to casually pass through here. Casually.
So it's
Just
let's
waiting
go
for
ahead
it.
and
God damn it, Brucey.
bring it down now. Just switch up topics here. So let's talk about next up, race.
Fuck off.
There. Let's talk about you in movies, I guess. Like, just a little bit more of a
What?
lighthearted conversation, I guess. Because I know generally, for the
What
most
do you mean
part,
specifically.
as far as things like any comic book movies, Marvel movies, whatever, DC, which, you know,
You want to talk
who
about
gives a
this
shit?
now, or
Like-
wait until we're doing it with Joey?
I'm not going to talk about those. I want to talk about, like,
Oh,
the fact that most movies, it seems like it takes a lot to get your attention and actually want to go see a movie.
yeah.
Like, now, lately. Or, like, I'm kind of changing more into I'm okay with seeing bad movies and, like, trying to find bad movies because I'm just...
I'm
Sometimes I
willing
want
to
to see
do that
stupid
with
things.
horror
just
movies,
to
but
have
that's
a
really
fun
about
time.
it.
But, like, Independence Day 2 was a horrible movie, but I had to see it because I knew it was going to be bad, and I just wanted to see how bad.
Well, why don't you go ahead and explain what you learned about all that? Why movies like that even exist in the first
Oh,
place?
yeah, well, it's China. That's the thing is, any big budget movies
God
or whatever,
damn it.
you know, I don't know how many people don't know this, but, you know, like, China's movie market, they've been starting to get a lot more of our movies lately. So, those big budget piece of shit movies that we have here that people here are kind of used to seeing, like, just the same recycled shit over and over and over again. Now, China's getting those movies, and China's just that nerd, you know, who
Oh, hell yeah.
they love
They're
cool looking
huge
things.
nerds.
They love cool things.
Well, that's
So
why
even the dumb cool things, they're like,
World
you
of
know.
Warcraft bombed here, but it
Yeah.
did so well in China.
yeah, China loved
Which
it.
doesn't surprise
know.
me at all, because, you know, those
Some
guys,
big action sets,
they love their RPGs.
you know, graphics, like, which is surprising that, like, if last thing I think we watched was like Shin Godzilla, where, like, you can tell their CGI is not exactly
Oh, no,
up to
but it
snuff
was still
compared to,
an
like,
entertaining as hell movie.
you know, Hollywood, but America we make a lot more money out that stuff, so we put a lot more time into it because that's been our major export, you know, aside from guns. But
oh, wow.
now other places are starting to kind
Smoothest
of get
landing I've
their
ever
own
made.
movie shit going. You know, like, there's stuff in Africa they're starting up, you know, they're finally able to actually make kind of like Bollywood sort of movies or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a low budget, but pretty good because they're super into it. You know, they've got the drive, they've got the heart that America used to have. But, you know, China is now getting a lot of our movies, like Independence Day 2, and even though we know it sucks, they still think it's cool because, like, we've seen Independence Day. We had that back in the 90s.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yep.
They've not always had access to all of our movies, and a lot of it that they do have is, like, torrented.
Yeah.
So now they're finally getting shit into their cinemas, and they're all excited. It's kind of like a first-time thing for them, I guess, is what it would be like. But
Jesus Christ.
so it's kind of unfortunate that these movies that really shouldn't be doing so well are doing really well because China pours a lot of money into them.
yeah.
You know, fucking nerds. But I don't know, there's still like I've been trying to make more trips to the movies because I do enjoy going to the theater. I don't enjoy the theater prices, but I do
Nah.
enjoy like the experience for the most part. But it's like pulling teeth. trying to get you to go to the theater or see a movie.
I just hate wasting my time on stuff
Yeah.
that like. It's like, I don't know what it is. I think I already said this before. My love for video games is growing a lot more recently.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of the opposite with you and me. Like I'm still willing to go see a lot of movies, but
That's
video
why I
games,
like.
it takes me like you really have to have something to really pique my interest with video games for me to take notice.
And it's like even movies that I do want to see, I'm still kind of like stubborn about wanting to watch it. Like
Yeah.
that's what Diva yesterday. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to watch Train to Busan for like ever.
And it's like
Ever since I saw the trailer for that movie, I was like stoked on that. Well, because I'm easily won over by a lot of foreign films.
Yeah, it's like that movie. I do want to see it eventually.
And then-
Yesterday, I was feeling very just kind of like I just kind of want to chill by myself. I haven't had enough time to just kind of be alone for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I figured.
Otherwise, I would have sat down and watched it with you guys. And also, just zombie shit bores the fuck out of me at this point.
Well, this
My God.
movie is probably going to be right up there with one of my all-time favorite zombie movies ever because the way they did it is just like fucking brutal.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I've heard.
They did what World War
That's
Z
why I
wanted to
do-
be.
That's why I do want to see it eventually. I just need to
So
make time.
I
for
wasn't in
myself
the
to be
mood
in
to
the mood
watch
see
it, but then Diva put it on, and then I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, because that's
I'm
the thing
in.
that Dave and me have talked about before. Is generally we have to kind of trick you into watching stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Or we'll just be like, hey, you want to watch this? And it's just weeks and weeks of no. Nah.
Nah.
It's like, all right,
I
fine.
don't feel like it.
But then, like, you'll be editing a video or playing something on your laptop and hey, let's put in Split. And just kind of put it on while you're in the room. So it's like, yeah, maybe he'll take a peek and maybe get drawn in.
I mean, I watched most of it, and I do want to know how it ended, and I had to leave right before it ended.
yeah,
I
actually,
gotta go
like,
to
Split was one
jiu-jitsu.
of those movies that first time I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, that was kind of dumb. But I like M. Night Shyamalan stuff, because even this bad stuff, not Airbender.
Fuck that.
That's the one I cannot defend.
I mean, and I liked.
But even his kind of cheesier stuff and the shit, like the weaker movies, I'm still a big fan of. Like, I don't
liked-
love I like The Village. It's not great, but I like it for most of the stuff. You know, it's got a nice atmosphere. I like the look at the monsters and shit. Cast is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's Signs.
That's
like,
where
people
he's
hate that
strong,
movie.
dude. Like, his casts are always awesome.
And it just he's good at setting an atmosphere, like it, and his cinematic work really isn't that bad. He kind of knows how to set up a shot, and like his specialty, especially, is toying around with color. He's good
Fuck you.
He's good at putting subtle things into his movies that
Yeah.
you don't really notice at first.
Try to speed through this.
Like Sixth Sense, obviously, great movie. Still kind of makes me tear up and cry a bit.
Yeah, it'd been a long time since I'd watched it when we watched it, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, dude, this
I know,
is
it's
more
way more
intense than I
emotional.
remember it being.
I enjoyed it more as an adult, seeing it again. But like
Well-
Signs is still like one of my favorite movies, and like it's hard for me to explain why.
Yeah,
Part
for
of it
me,
is just the
it's-
very
again, it's
simplistic
just the-
alien
Oh,
thing.
damn it.
Like I like small alien invasion stories.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of
Isolated.
the personal stories. Just here's a family that just so happens to be having an alien invasion situation. But the story's more about them than it is the aliens. But then the stuff with the aliens is pretty intense until I guess the last few minutes, where it's like their weakness was the biggest flaw in that movie, but the alien design itself looked pretty cool, and up until that point they were pretty eerie, So like, and Unbreakable, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So I heard that Split had a connection to Unbreakable, and I was like, that seems kind of unnecessary. Seems like one of those M. Night Shyamalan might be pandering because people have wanted a sequel to Unbreakable for years, and I've never understood why, because it's one of those movies that's good on its own. It's just good on its own.
Yeah. I love that movie.
But it's now a sequel, and soon Glass will be coming out, and it'll be a trilogy.
Ah.
That's all we on a bit.
Physics.
But, Split looked kind of silly at first, and then I actually got around to watching it, and was like, I kind of love this movie.
Hey.
Like, I've been pretty happy with some of the newer horror movies that have been coming out. Like the handful
I
of pretty
haven't.
good movies. Like It Follows, Get Out, Split.
Yeah, like there's the occasional one that's pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah, you just gotta look in the right
My
place.
goddamn-
Don't just go to every mainstream horror movie that spits out. You gotta look for the good ones. Like I still want to see A Quiet Place. because I've heard nothing but good things about that movie.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it yet, so.
Then again, M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit. I didn't think that movie was going to be any good, and then I watched it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one yet either.
This is
I do
pretty
need to watch
decent.
that.
Like, and I didn't know it was his movie until the end, the credits. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, of course, that's why this movie's like this.
And his music. I do really enjoy the music of his movies a lot, too.
Hey,
So one
eat
just
my
barely.
asshole. Hey, whoa,
Did you
what?
just start a new game?
Did I?
I think so.
Oh, fuck this.
I'm not wearing jeans. But yeah, I mean, like,
for real.
I'm trying to think of other movies that I've seen lately. There's been a lot more movies lately that Joey and me have been meaning to go see. Just it's hard for him and me to match up time anymore.
Yeah, well, his schedules.
But most of the movies that we've been seeing lately have
Messed
been,
up.
you know, the superhero movies, comic book movies.
Yep.
But you know, there's other shit like Shape of Water is another good one that was just kind of out of nowhere on its own, and I fucking love that movie.
Well, Del Toro hyped the shit out of it, so it was one of those things where it better be good.
Well, as soon like the first trailer I ever saw for it, I didn't think it was going to be in theaters because I thought it was going to be one of those like Sundance independent films
Yeah.
or whatever. But then actually got a huge release, and I was kind of stoked for that because I'm like, because first trailer looked really fucking good.
I mean, that's what happened with Isle of
At
Dogs.
first, I thought it was Hellboy, and then I thought it was an Abe Sapien movie, and then it turned out to just be about the Gill Man who, next to Frankenstein and shit, Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite classic horror movies of all time. And the thing that I found so funny is that when I watched the movie, I've also always been kind of in that, you know, that team of, man, the Gill Man didn't really do anything wrong. He just kind of wanted a girlfriend. So when I like heard what the movie actually was, and then hearing Guillermo del Toro talk about it, him pretty much saying the same thing, where he says, "You just wanted to give the Gill Man a win."
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it. You got me. You got me. There's nothing I'm not gonna love about this, and I did love it. But I think it was better than Mama.
Yeah, that movie was disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, the ending was disappointing.
The
Like,
moment that you saw her was when it got weak.
because you saw her too much.
Damn it.
Oh,
No,
wait,
you're right.
that's the right way. Okay.
Because the best way to do monster stuff is generally to not show the monster.
Well, especially
You know,
Ghost.
if you can.
Ghost
for as
stories,
long
it's
as you can.
subtleties and shadows.
Because that
and-
was the same issue
tricks.
with Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Was the moment that you saw the little things, the movie just kind of got boring. Like, it lost its fear factor, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like what does it take to get you interested in seeing movies? Look, you're just right around the corner.
Well, looks like we're hoofing it. Come on, fat ass.
Like, aside from it being like a foreign film, you know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of trailers that I had seen where I was like, shit, I need to see that movie. I can't use Isle of Dogs.
No, not quite.
I guess it's... Well, I mean, I guess it's got to be a director that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, Baby Driver's not a good example because I hated that movie. I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, that movie was
I
kind
was
of
so stoked for Edgar Wright, and then, like,
disappointing.
that movie happened, and I'm like, I don't need this shit.
And everybody fucking hyped the shit out of it.
Well,
and I'm
everybody
like,
still loves it.
that was one of the things too that I'm just like.
There's really not too many people that hate
too
it.
much hype, you know. It had too much hype. To the point where, like, when I actually saw it, I was kind of expecting more from it. But you know, like the little love story kind of sucked. And the thing that you point out, like I get how it's an interesting way of shooting it, and it worked really well for the original short that was a music video, having like all the action sequences sync up with the music and everything.
Yeah.
But in like that's nice in theory, but in actual practice, a little impractical, a little
Which is
silly.
not believable. It was just
Yeah,
like,
kind of takes you out of what's going on.
I was just kind of like, really?
I don't know. The movie was kind of boring.
And then, Kevin Spacey kind of ruins everything now. Can't
As well
do
as sure that
anything.
plenty of people were pretty happy to see what happened to Kevin Spacey at the end of that movie, though.
Yeah.
Spoilers, he gets his ass ran the fuck over. Not by Baby Driver.
Shh.
That's also another one of those dumb name. Just dumb name. You got a dumb name, kid.
I just hated how forced the romance was.
Yeah.
That was like the worst part. I was like cringing and like,
No.
the whole fucking
That's why it's so
time.
weird that like movies like Deadpool are the ones that have the love stories that actually do interest me.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was a believable relationship.
Have you still not seen the second one? You really
No,
do need to
not
see
yet.
the second one because the love story is again a pretty crucial part of the story, and it works. It works really well. That's why I need to see the movie again because when I first saw it, we had to rush out. I don't
Oops.
know if we talked about this.
You wanna
already
do this
on
one?
mic? No, okay. You good?
I didn't think it was going
I
to
was
be
gonna say.
available yet.
I did this one not too long ago, so I'm cool with watching it. Unless you die again, then I'll take over. Could go either way. Oh, good old Derek.
Oh, good old country Ireland.
Derek, the heroin addict. Gerald, surprisingly cool though, for the older brother who's in and out of jail all the time.
Yeah.
Packy's still my favorite. And then Michael. Saint fucking Michael.
God
Are you really gonna puke again?
Every time we're doing
Here,
a record,
here,
this cat
puke on
wants
this
to throw up. Oh no, she's moving it.
Puke on the napkin. Don't. Damn it. Oh,
Sweet.
ew.
Oh God, better to throw up.
You need to go to a vet. I need to get you to a vet.
Oh, shut up! Don't start hissing and looking for a fight after you puked.
That's gross puke.
This is why you're so skinny.
I think something might be up with her.
Hey, you might be onto something.
Just
The
try
whole
to-
she could have allergies because that's what she
Find-
said. Mac
find
was
Joey.
throwing up because his allergies made it hard for him to breathe, which made it hard for him to eat.
Yeah, it's gotta convince Joey to take time to take her to the vet. Vet stuff's pricey, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it. If you care about them, take your animals to the vet. What a real cool guy. Oh, Gypsy, you horny bitch. Anyway, time to get a four-door. Could have taken that.
Oh, you assholes! They were just standing there. They weren't going anywhere.
Oh, Becky!
Take your sweet ass time. We're off to a great start, fellas. Great start.
Yeah, sure. Like I feel like honestly, the last movie that I actually saw you
I'm
getting
not
super hyped
dealing with
for
this.
was The Raid and The Raid 2, which came out a decent while ago now.
2011 and 2014.
This is one of those movies that you couldn't keep you out of the theater.
I saw
The second it came
the
out, we
first
were
one
there.
3 times in theaters. Saw the second one 3 times in theaters.
Yep. Great movies.
Problem is I don't have the tickets proof for the first one because that's when
Yep.
I was still friends with the guy who was a manager there, so I got in for free.
Yeah. And we went with Dad first time we saw it too, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Because he was the one that like introduced us to it. Anyway. It's so funny when every time I try to trace back to people, because everybody that we know who like knows us and knows how much we love the movies always traces it to you being the one who really enforces how great those movies are and having to get people to watch them. And I'm like, when your kids down to it, they're like, how we found out about them at all was Dad was on Facebook, follows Mike Shinoda,
Yeah.
saw Mike Shinoda posting one of the scenes from the movie, showed it to me, and him and me were both like, oh, we gotta show Chris this. He would absolutely
Yeah.
love this. Holy shit. Because Yeah, Mike Shinoda was sharing shit for it because he does the music for the first movie. Those who don't know.
That was pretty tight.
So as soon as I got home, I'm like, dude, look up this thing. Go to Mike Shinoda's fucking Facebook. Look at these things that he's fucking sharing. This movie is gonna be dope as fuck.
Yeah, and then Dad found the actual trailer and showed us when we were standing around at Target once.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
Fucking hardcore.
And I was like, God damn,
Yeah,
dude.
since
God
then-
damn. That is like the peak of martial arts in action.
Yeah, since then I haven't really seen you honestly even kind of remotely stoked for a movie at all.
Eh. I don't know, just film nowadays just
Like, this is just the having to sit down and like put the time for it to actually pay attention to a movie, or just nothing good.
I guess I'm just really tired of being hyped for stuff nowadays.
Yeah, I get that.
And so it's like, even if I see something that looks interesting, I'm just like, I can't do this. Except for now,
you just
fucking
don't
Resident
care.
Evil 2. I just watched the gameplay footage for that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
I
again,
cannot
that's a
wait.
video game. That's again more in your field,
Yeah,
where like
not
you're
a-
more
not a
you get
movie.
more hyped for video games, whereas I'm just kind of like, I don't even know what the fuck's coming out ever anymore. You know, I hear about games, I'm like, what the hell is that? Okay,
Well,
I don't know nothing
because
about
I think the
this.
last few times I've been hyped for
Like,
something,
what the hell is
I've
Detroit
been
being
sort of-
human?
I've been sort of like disappointed
Yeah,
by the overall thing. Like, we got hyped for GTA 5 for a while there.
yeah. I think that was the last
And
game
then
I
was
got
like,
hyped
damn
for.
it, I'm not really like, I was like, this isn't what I was hoping it was going to be.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then
it wasn't bad.
No,
a
it wasn't
game.
bad.
It
It's
was
just-
just compared to this and how much it should have been.
And all the stuff they showed
know?
us.
It just kind of was a little bit lackluster. Like, the bank job stuff was kind of dull. I feel like there could have been more to that. Kind of a lot of build up through most of the game to like setting up for these heists that like really weren't that exciting. Game has a very just abrupt ending. Fucking. Even like you do all these heists and you don't even get to keep most of the money, so your characters
I
are kind
know.
of poor for most of the game.
Just kind of, because you have to like I said, the
It's
thing that
too-
I don't
too
like
real
about that
world.
game is
Too
it's
real world.
micromanaging.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, you don't get money from from your missions, but that's because they expect you to put so much time into stocks and bonds and
Yeah,
buying
I don't wanna do
businesses.
that.
and-
I don't like it being so
and
real
like,
world.
I'm like,
Like
God
doing
fucking damn. Well, first to do
GTA
that
Online.
stuff, I need
I don't
money.
wanna pay money out of my real money to get video game money to afford an apartment that I have to pay monthly. You know, in the
Me
video
and your
game.
brother here. Fuck these people and fuck your cause. That shit's over.
Now you said Buddy Ireland. That's gonna narrow the search, ain't it? Fuck you,
Stuff's not happening in Bolivia.
motherfuckers! Yeah. Oh, yeah, I messed that one up.
Michael! Said fucking Michael!
Blammo. That's what for me. It just I start actually playing new games that came out, and I get very bored very quickly because they're too much. They're too
Well.
similar. Too much time put into the graphics, not enough time put into the gameplay.
Or the other way around.
You know,
See,
just whatever little things. Just it seems like video games have hit a point that it's just
Well,
not
what's
so
wrong
much
with
about the games anymore. Like it's weird. It's
Well, it's
difficult for
about
me
the
to
money. It's
pinpoint.
about the companies wanting money.
yeah,
So they depend on people's hype.
But it's even
And
like
they depend on pre-orders, and they
the
depend on DLC now.
it's even like the gameplay and like too much, too much quick time events, like too much of this specific camera angle, or like too much of the taking what Resident Evil 4 did
yeah,
and
they're-
bastardizing it to hell to where it's not interesting or good.
games, action games,
know.
especially like action games and a lot of horror games. Their two go-to rip-offs
RE4.
are Resident Evil 4 and Arkham.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they just
the
take the
whole
gameplay
counter,
styles.
the counter shit.
For those, a lot of games do that nowadays, and it's because it works so well. So all
But
these,
it worked well for those games. And
yeah,
what
those
they
games.
were. It fit the style of those. those games, but when everything's just a carbon copy of shit that's already been done 20 times before, I have no interest. I don't care.
Oh,
yeah, you
God
want to be
damn it.
careful because these guys always jump in front of my shit.
They kind of did there too.
Don't shoot the door.
Let me get outside. Let me get outside. Beep, 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 beep.
Do it, Bjork. That one under. Just so,
Shit.
yeah, like I guess I'm more of the movie guy. You're more of the video game guy.
Yeah.
Which is why at some
I
point
suppose.
with Joey or Diva, I want to start actually doing like some movie review stuff too.
Well, I mean, I want to do movie reviews
Like,
too, but just
go
like
see
on movies
movies.
I've already watched.
Yeah, I
that
want to
really like.
I wouldn't mind like seeing movies or watching new movies and sitting down, or like showing
wanna,
them showing them movies and sitting down and talking about them. You know.
I mean, I remember
In time.
when I originally wanted to start doing podcasting and stuff, I was like making lists of like talking about like my favorite action movies and
Yeah.
the differences between them and my favorite martial arts movies. And then I wanted to do like special things where it's like, okay, the best fights in a hallway or like the best fights in an elevator and stuff like that. Like just doing goofy things like that.
kind of stuff with the
Or like my
Yon-Yon.
my favorite knockouts in martial arts films and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's why it kind of sucks. Like, whenever we find movies that are like, damn, Chris would like this, then it's just so difficult to actually get you around to watching it.
Yeah. Well. Oh, shit, man. Why you guys do that to me?
I don't know, I'm the same way with some things, though. Like,
Hey.
well, that's a movie I've been wanting to watch. I can't think of the examples right now. I'm not even going to try.
But I did
So I
love
just
Train to
remember
Busan. I love Korean movies.
The other day, Joey was like, we got us all together and we were going to watch the movie Headshot.
Oh, man, that was a bummer.
And woof, I didn't
was
realize
a
that Joey hadn't seen it
fucking
yet, because I
bummer.
thought he wanted us to see it because he had
No,
already
he
seen it.
was
Like,
he
oh,
was
it's
wanting to
really
watch it with us because he'd never watched it yet.
Yeah.
He bought it like forever ago too, like when
But
it
he
came
showed
out.
me the trailer, and I'm like, this just seems kind of like a ripoff of like the Raid.
And it was
Doesn't
it
look
was
that
it
good,
was a
but
straight
okay,
blatant.
let's give it a shot. And first few seconds in, just so many things.
It was a straight blatant ripoff of the Raid
Oh,
too,
God.
mostly.
It wasn't a good movie. It
Had
and
the
the thing is,
the
too, is-
fucked up part. It had a lot of the same. It had like 3 of the same actors at least,
yeah,
and a lot of the same like
just
goons.
copying the music, copying the way the fights were.
They copied like the angles and the
character
cinematography,
designs and shit. You know,
but it lacked choreography.
soul.
Like it lacked.
yeah, like the fight scenes, as opposed to like the Raid, where it's just so perfectly choreographed and everything that it's flawless, just one single shot.
And that was the
you
thing
know,
with the
like,
Raid 2. The reason why everything was so
minimal
perfect
cuts.
is because they had perfected that over years.
Yeah,
They already had almost all the fight scenes in the Raid 2 plan before they had even done the Raid 2 because...
I think you're going the wrong way.
Well, it's because he ran this way.
I think he was just trying to flank these guys.
Stupid fucking NPCs.
This movie was doing the Jason Bourne thing with the fight scenes, where it's just
Yeah,
all
where
shake the camera, cut
yeah,
here, shake the camera, cut here,
just to
shake the
cover
camera.
up how bad the fighting actually
yeah,
looked.
to hide the fact that
And this
nobody
was
actually knows how
disappointing
to
because,
fight.
you know, Iko Uwais, he's involved in it.
That's the thing is,
helped
we didn't
guide
even see many of
choreography.
we didn't see many of his fights. It was
No, we
just
saw
that other
everybody else.
hipster looking dude.
We saw... Well, no, that was Fairy Tree Ulisman, baseball Batman. So that's
Oh,
why
shit,
that's
what?
why that's why his shit was disappointing because it was like,
Ah.
no, he's better than this. I know he's
Yeah.
better than that. And we talk about fights. We got 2 cats about ready to like duke it out in front of the TV. An old lady and a other grouch. Damn it!